first real serious one was I smashed my face and they had to reconstruct my face with my cheekbone and my eye socket and my nose.
I've broken lots of things. I broke both my wrists, dislocated both of my shoulders. I did a vertebra in my back. 11 months later I did another one, both crush fractures. Broke a collarbone, broke my leg, broke my left arm in 3 places. I've done wrists, elbows, ribs. I had about 30 stitches in my face one Easter. Broke my ankle, crushed a couple of vertebrae, lost my spleen.
There's 2 there and there's a few more missing as well. That's just the price you pay, like.
Tá sé nús eile an rásaíocht, agus tá lucht leanúna go bhfuil an nghrá leis an spórte, agus an na marcaí seo tá siad mar líochra acu bar fad.
Don géad uair riamh, braithníonn muid ar héal na rásaíocht de Shellige, agus muid ag leanúnt trúr scothharcach agus iad inomíocht do ghradam, champion na marcach.
As a jump jockey, you have to be physically strong, but you have to be mentally very tough too.
Being thick as a plank is a very good starting point, because I don't know why any of them would want to ride a half a ton at 40 miles an hour into a fence.
Bíonn sé brúte, bíonn na cnáfa briste, úr a chuig na dhéag sin deirg sé le tá mé all the finish can dul amach a rí.
Post on marquee on 10 post to 1 and it will car down and you can still go over.
Their attitude rubs off and you really, it's get up and get on with it again the next day. So it's just part of the job.
It has to be that important to you that it means the world, that you'll starve yourself, you'll break a bone and get up and ride again in the next. 1 in 9 fall. Your worst fear is not getting up.
See, it's not really a job. It's an obsession.
Is réalt rásaíochta an fearr chorcaí Davy Russell, le breis agus ní géad buait ó rása aige go dtí seo.
For some reason, a set of colours and a jockey, no matter who he was or what he done, but I used to idolise him.
The first one he opened was Horsey. Horsey, the very first one when he was 2 years of age. He was infatuated by horses from the very start.
I was getting in wicked trouble in school, and the only reason I was getting in trouble was because I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be at home with the horses on the farm. It was always really what I wanted to do. There was never a question of anything else.
Tá breis agus 2,000 rás buaite ag Ruby Walsh ón Gael, chun de Childara. Deirtar gur bé an marcach is fearr dá ghlúin, agus é níos 32 bliain. Tagann sé ó cheann de phríomhshaighlí rásaíochta na hÉireann.
When I was young, I saw myself riding ponies, thinking that I was winning Grand Nationals and Gold Cups, and you went out, tagged the pony, and whatever you could jump, you were riding in the Grand National. It was a racing yard, it was a racing house, and everything revolved around where the racing was. When you're brought up that way, all you know is racing, but all you ever want to be is a jockey.
He always had a thing about his feet, about what size his shoes were. As the years went up and the size of his shoes went up, he was becoming increasingly worried that his feet were going to be too big, he was going to grow to be too tall, and he wouldn't be a jockey.
Is as Pelletstown na Gundan na mí do Barry Geraghty, ag 32 bliain díos agus níos mó ná 1,000 rás buaite aige. Ba bharca gíd a bheith drithar, a rifúr agus a ahar.
I was dreaming about it from the age of 14 and it came quick enough, thankfully. You have to grow up quick, there's no doubt about that. At 18, you're a professional competing in a professional's world against men, so yeah, you can't be a teenager or a boy anymore.
Is seomra príomháideach ag an ráschórsa é an seomra meachan, nó seomra na marcach mar a thugtar agus níl aon chead isteach ag an bobal. Seo ná de gahan na marcaigh súil ar an form, plán rásaíochta a thucrú agus iireacht an meachan a laidú más gá.
This is the dreaded box, the sweat box. It's a sauna. Not every race course is a sauna, so we kind of sometimes have to have our weight sorted before we go to the races. Lucky enough today we have a sauna at the race course, so I had a little sweat last night. I can get the extra £1.5 off at the races. It's a little bit of an ease, I don't have to be under as much pressure coming racing when I know there's a sauna there.
He's a motor room, lads.
Cahan marcaí go leor ama le chéile agus iad 253 lá ag rásaíocht a rinne bliana. Anóin an chólint chéir, Is dlúchardí.
Tush an bhfuilach an contourtach a hain leis an post tá géalta speisialta idir na marquee.
If I sit down in the middle of them, people on television will not...
second at 40 and all, you have a chance.
Yeah. If I sit down in the middle of these two, right, around about Pat Taff won the Grand National when he was 40, apparently I have only one more year to that. Apparently, according to these two. If I sit down in the middle of them, I'm a certainty to be 5 years younger than both of them, aren't I? Look at them.
Well, you look at it, don't you? Yeah. Well, you're catching up as well, you're getting late too.
Yeah, you're getting a bit late. Not as late as that.
He's only under 100.
Look at the state of that.
He's under Wayne Rooney. Work and stress and things like that.
Yeah.
There's a good bunch of lads and it's good camaraderie. You know, lads are looking out for each other, which is important. When you're galloping down to a fence among 25 or 28 horses, everyone needs to be looking after each other to a degree. So there's a good bond between ourselves.
Good morning, Davey.
Hi, Matt. How are you, boy?
I just looked at the statistics. You are going to be Irish champion jockey this season. And that would be a great feeling, wouldn't it?
It would be a great feeling, yeah, there's no doubt about it. Like, you know, it's been playing in my mind over the years. No, come here, hold on a second now, it's a long way to go. I'm just having a good season at the moment now.
I'm writing that you've not been champion before, have you, Davey?
No, not since I was riding Point of Hinds, Matt.
Okay, yeah, we're talking about proper racing. You've not been...
Yeah, well, there you go. Oh, jeez! Ah, fuck it! Excuse me, sorry, I apologise.
I should just threw a cup of water on Davey, but you know, have to keep these lads on their toes.
I'm sorry, there was a cold shower turned on, I apologise, and I'm blaming Ruby Welch. He's got nothing better to do.
Sure. Shouldn't have been standing in the shower doing an interview, should he?
Coursing on television. Live.
Tá chéad chruinú mór an téasúr a teach na sí chun na mí. Tá deire seachtain na lán rásiachta den géad scoháin. 3 rás grád a hain in a measc. Go hundúil bín marcaigh féin ostathe ach I gás Ruby Walsh agus Barry Geraghty denan siad marciach de réinálaí faoi le. Is eisceach é Davy Russell agus é fostathe ag gún amháin.
When we first approached Davy 3-4 years ago, you know, in this country had Ruby Walsh, Davy, Barry Geraghty would probably been top of the tree. Ruby and Barry clearly were already lined up with Willie and Noel Meade. Davy was the opposite candidate, and it's been a fantastic partnership.
Tush go bhfuil an caidan chomhard agus atá sé a couple Gigginstown, tá sé deachar le Davy go háirithe sna Ross in grade 1.
Tá Davy Russell ag ghlacha páirte sa rás is mó inniu, agus fiú sal bhain sé amach an cuasa bhí cinna mór le déanamh aige.
I had some tough decisions today, like which horse to pick to ride. First Lieutenant is a dual grade 1 winner over hurdles. Bog Warrior is a novice, but he does have a huge amount of ability. So one is an unknown quantity and the other horse is fairly rock solid form, but still just don't know what way he'd turn up on the day, you know. I sometimes get a little bit panicky maybe when it comes to a decision like that, and I'd rather not have to make it, you know.
Lá fuór gíomhre an cara is fearr atá ag marcach na péire ritóige.
Like these britches they're like just virtually see-through, like, you know, so they're the lightest you can get.
Really good horse side of the shot, and not just good.
What's that for? That's back pad. That's if you get a kick or a fall. That's our protection. It'll take the initial brunt out of it, and whatever you get after that then is your own. Like, we're not that big and strong, like, we're not that hardy. Might be hardy mentally, but not physically, and when you hit hard ground, you break.
Ticket 521.
Tá 3 rás ag Davy inniu. Tágann sé sa dara áit sa chéad rás agus é díamach nar bhain sé amach ach an 5 áit sa dara rás. Tá an drin mór novice steeplechase ar cheann de rásaí móra an lé. Beirfí buaiteoir na dúise seo thart ar €40,000 a bhaile leo. Tá Ruby Walsh ag marciacht ar chapel a dhiúltaigh Davy.
Bog Warrior has a chance in the third, obviously as first lieutenant. to beat. Davy had the choice, but if I had the choice, I'd have picked the one he's riding as well.
You make the decision based on what knowledge you have at the time, and when you've made it, that's it.
Paul Carberry being followed by Bug Warrior, Ruby Walsh improving towards the inside of First Lieutenant Davy Russell, Rivage Door, Paul Townend, and the leader Bug Warrior over 3 lengths in front, and First Lieutenant almost went there.
Is Ross tubaistach Ada Davy agus First Lieutenant. Déanann an capal drochfotún ar an 8ú clái. Agus Davy ag tarrant amach, tá Ruby ag marciocht a bhaile, agus ag glán chun tosaí tríocha fad capal Bog Warrior.
Is out clear, a most impressive performance, and Bog Warrior scores in tremendous style for Ruby Walsh, Gigginstown, and Tony Martin.
There you go. Disappointing. Yeah. Yeah, disappointing. Oh, terrible. Yeah. Is it okay?
It's always difficult when you have to make a choice like that, and it's twice as difficult when you get it wrong.
It's funny because if you had to finish the race and finish second, I'd be more disappointed. If you know what I mean. At least there's something that's wrong that maybe they can fix. You know, obviously I'm gutted I didn't ride the winner. And then just watching it in disgust, then it was just disbelief with what had happened. Like it was just disappointing. Disappointing, well done.
Yeah, fucking you know, past there.
Wouldn't have noticed it in that.
Yeah, a bit left. But like as long as they keep it.
I just want to be really good, like, you know. I'd love to win every race I've ever been in, if you know what I mean. I'm kind of disappointed, and sometimes you ride horses and you just get things wrong. And you know you get things wrong, and you know while you're doing it that you're maybe doing it wrong. And it just builds up inside, and sometimes I say to myself, Jesus, why can't I just stop doing them things? You know, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it, yeah.
I think in the early days he was very hard on himself, as in small, very small little things, you know, and he can be, you know, he could have a bad day at the races and it'd really up, and it could nearly affect the next day's race. Do you know what I mean?
The one that hurts most when you lose is when you could have ridden the winner. You picked the wrong one, you rode the wrong horse. They're the ones that hurt the most.
Sarvarkak, ólas mahar a chéirdige, as cosúla gachtin in ein sport a bhíon goma, tá sé sa chríoch a goma.
Go away now and get my moustache shaven off, thank God. About time. Something to look forward to for the day. Hopefully, no, they won't cut the throat off me outside.
Bruntar Curóin Champagne na Marcach an tae leis an méadis mó buana ag deire an taisúr. Cintíonn sé seo stadas an bharcaig agus é mór a réama. Tá an onóir seo buaite ag Ruby Walsh 8 uaire agus ag Barry Gerrity faoi ró. Tá Davy Russell tachas a dara háds 2 uaire.
Sport to Ruby, and last year I kept breaking, I broke my left leg 3 times last year, dislocated my ankle, and Ruby got knocked out then, and it looked like maybe I had a small squeak being champion, and next thing Paul Townend took over the majority of Ruby's rides, and he didn't leave anything behind him, like, you know, he's a good pilot.
Bheadh sé aontocht Davy Russell le ruachtáil. Tá sé tréis teachsa daráid cam go chuig uairnis, so do mar rud a gras an anna ceann sin álam líana bheadh sé do chreidteá is bheadh muid ar fad sástó do mar rud a gras an anna dhéana.
I'd love to be champion jockey, absolutely love to be champion jockey, but at the moment people are probably prematurely talking about it too much maybe.
Tá schedule díon ag an sór bharcach. Ibrion Ruby Walsh do bheirt phríomhthréanálaí rásaíochta. Rud I chiallaíonn go rainann sé a chuidama idir an bhreatain agus éire.
I'd either be in William Mullins Tuesday morning or riding in England for Paul Nicholls. Wednesday, usually be in England as well. Fly back on Wednesday night. William Mullins Thursday morning. Racing Thursday afternoon. Fly out to England Friday morning. Ride there Friday, Saturday, fly back Saturday night. Ride in Ireland on Sunday and then start again. That's my typical week from the first Saturday in October till the Punchestown Festival ends in April.
Bhíonn cruatan agus féinúltú I gceist nullig do bharcach.
I suppose because it's Christmas Day, people make a big deal out of it, but it's just no different than any other day. If you're doing like, you just don't eat. Christmas Day, if it happens to be you're doing like Stephen's Day, so be it. It's only turkey and ham. It's Stephen's Day, yeah, but I'm going to Kempton to ride in the King George, so there's no problem getting up to go and do that.
Inniu tá Ruby ag ghlacha síbe le Barry Geraghty chuig an ráshórsa. Is minic a haistilíonn an bheirt seo le chéile.
He did. If we're going the same places, we'd be on the same flights, myself and Barry. Often he'd be schooling for Nicky Henderson, so he'd be going the night before, but yeah, I get on well with him. I always have done since I was, I suppose, champion amateur. Barry was champion conditional. Our careers have moved along together since we were 18 and we're both 32 now. He's a great fella with a great opinion and a good judge of a race, and I like his company.
Probably 8 years ago, there would have been a very competitive relationship. We get on well, but I wouldn't say there was as much strength and depth to it then as there is now.
Tá Ross the King George ag Kempton buaite ag Ruby Walsh ceithre Cato Star. Ag íse dó dhéag, ceapan na sanóilethe nach bhfuil seans bithéige ag gcoinne roghan na cuatínteachta long run. Ach Dan Ruby dílis.
It'll be a great race. As much not as I'd like to see Ruby win it. I think it's long run. I think he's going to take big.
What do you make it up? I think the same. It's the professional way of looking at it. Your head looks at it rather than your heart. Long run is the one to beat. It's my heart always says Cato, but this is not a fairy tale. It's not romantic. This is cold hard life. Your head is more likely going to rule than your heart.
Nuair a hagann sé ar an láthir, tain Ruby a drone na scálaí, agus tá deas céil andó.
I'm later after Christmas than I was before Christmas. I don't know, I get a blood test and go see a doctor or something.
Is fair ord iad, agus monamioch smachtacha an méide ihin siad. Bheoch siad a laid gá cloch níos trimme. So fullan géan siad lá in ag lé agus sin an canal seal atá acu.
I could lose getting the bath any night at 9:30 for 45 minutes and take off 3.5, 4 pounds. Go to bed, get up the next morning, have a cup of coffee, go to the races, lose another pound or two. So yeah, in 12 hours you can have a 6 pound swing, no problem. But that's only 6 pounds of water. That's pure dehydration. That's the way you live your life. That's what jockeys have always done and will continue to do.
I thought I had to be light, if you know what I mean. I thought I had to do 10 stone. If I didn't do 10 stone, I wasn't going to be a jockey. So like I could go 4 to 5 days without eating, like maybe eat a square of chocolate a day, a cup of tea, and I thought that I was doing the right thing, and it was interfering with my riding. I couldn't talk to people, I couldn't ride horses and tell them what I thought. I just throw them the horse and walk away, like, you know. I was being an asshole, like, you know, but I'd walk outside Wareham then and or outside the races and I'd just kind of be grand. But while it was happening and at the races, I could really get mad with myself, like, you know.
Well, we accept that all our jockeys are probably at least 2% dehydrated, chronically dehydrated. Racing is the only sport where you actually have to make weight on a daily basis. In the other sport, you'll dehydrate, you'll put weight on. Boxers, they have 24 hours to rehydrate. Rowers, they have half an hour to rehydrate. Jockeys cannot rehydrate before racing, so they're riding dehydrated.
Curran Trainali, Cato Star, Paul Nichols, Corley Ruby Riven Ross. Tá si der chean den na pórtiachtaí is rathúlas a Rossiacht léama.
He's a great friend, get on really well, he's a fantastic jockey, dedicated. He's just one of the very best, and since, he's been riding for me, I suppose, the best part of 10 years now. I don't think we've ever had a crossword. Lots of winners, huge respect for him, but he's much than he's a good friend, and that counts for a lot.
Jockeys, please mount.
Cato's been a great horse to me all his career, all of my career. When you're trying to split two horses that you probably think there's not much between, you look for something else. So you had to have another view on it, and I went for a sentimental one. I just think that I would definitely be gutted if Cato Star won and I was sitting on a horse behind him. So that's why I rode Cato Star.
Summersby's behind this in fourth place. It's a 5 or 6 length lead. He's rewritten the record book so many times. Cato Star. Long Run is still trying to close on in the last. Cato Star 2 lengths ahead. The Long Run in second position. They're heading towards the line. The steeplechase of a lifetime. Cato Star is in front. Long Run's closing, but Cato Star has done it. He's won 5 King Georges.
Kind of thought turning in I'd win. I had a bit of horse left and he started to pick up, so it was all dependent on the jump. But when we jumped the last, I knew they weren't getting by me, and from there to the line it was keeping going and enjoying it, and it was just an absolute brilliant day. Great. It's what we said before racing, it's what you do it for, it's what you ride for. To be part of it is exceptional.
It was just unbelievable, what a horse, what a jockey, the whole thing, and the crowd were behind him. It was just amazing, absolutely amazing day. Never forget that.
It is a fairy tale, and it can't be described as anything else, because he's been a horse of a lifetime for me. He's 5 King Georges won on him. 5 King Georges, it's incredible, and brilliant.
First, number 4, Cato Star.
I suppose he's at his busiest when most people are off, so weekends and Christmas, Easter, things like that, they're always big festivals. During the summer, you could say it's kind of like a circus. You move between Galway, Killarney.
That's probably the tougher side when it's harder on them than it is on me, because I'm off doing what I love doing, but they're at home and there's other dads are heading out with their kids on a Sunday and they're not, so it's tough that side, I suppose.
We try and treat maybe Monday like our Sunday. If there's no racing, that's kind of a day that we try and spend, or maybe Monday afternoon try and spend that as a, together, do something that maybe other people would do on a Saturday or Sunday. It has its advantages. There's no queues in any in any kiddie places.
People say, look, you're married now and you have 2 kids and it is dangerous and X, Y and Z, but they all have to be provided for too. And racing is my job. It is my livelihood. It's where I earn my money. It's what I have to do.
My mum mightn't even know I'd be after riding a winner because she wouldn't watch it, which is hard to see. But I'd love for them to be really enjoying it as much as I do, but they do worry a bit.
If I was at the race course, to be, I'd be conscious that maybe a wife mightn't be watching if someone got a very bad fall. So you'd be trying to work out the best way maybe to let them know without giving them heart failure.
You do need their support at times like that, because it can be frightening until you hear from someone that they're okay, or, if it's a particularly bad fall.
I can remember driving along the car and hearing that Ruby had broken his hip. I just nearly, drove into the ditch when I heard that.
That side of it is difficult, but it's part of the job, so like I said, you can't linger on it or think too much about it.
Leanan an séasúr cruóga charaig, ag baile an lóir in eisgurt átha clia. Curú Barry Geraghty fionraí sa bhreatain dá bhór míúsáid amhaint as an lasc.
to say that a jockey can only use a stick 8 times, and that might seem a lot. But if you're on a horse who's running on heavy ground and is getting tired and lacking concentration, you need to give him a smack, like the way a boxer will tap himself in the head in the late rounds, or if someone's feeling under pressure, they'll smack themselves in the face to sharpen their concentration. That's what you use your stick for, it's to get your horse focused and concentrate on his job. But now I'm counting, and it's a distraction when you're trying to do your job. There's the whip, and it's padded, fully padded. That's not causing pain, injury, anything to horse.
Iaki Barry go géir as packing na nullag.
Paula was still in Kerry with the kids, so I came home to an empty house and got myself a nice pizza and had a glass of red wine, and that was all I had, but at least we have to shed a few now this morning. When you come back after a month off and you think, oh, I'll just lose £6, it knocks the shit out of you. Where when you're used to it, you could lose £6, you could lose £8 over a course of... Some lads would do it in a couple of hours. I do it over a day and a half, and I'd be fine. But it actually, it really focuses your mind because you get real intense.
Tá sé dachar, dearan go meach sé dachar le bhí ag smína bhí gcónaí ar, an bhfuiltú ábhailte sin déthe ná seo déthe agus sánas agus, ag éirí machchan a caiileann sin tá mar fad, tá sé inta dachar.
An tríú léid an bhéile ceir lá, tá gá chapel ag fustathe Davy Russell Gigginstown stud I gceann de Rossi móra an lé. Arís tá cinenne le déanamh ag Davy, agus arís Bartíonn sé dul bhuin First Lieutenant.
White flag is raised, and they're off.
Had a choice again of a different horse in the race. Last instalment, who has been very, very good this year. He was after winning these 2 runs. Just thought maybe, may as well be hung for a sheep as a lamb now at this stage.
This one, it is Raptor and last installment, Allegard right there on the inside. Now a close-up fourth, just a length off them is First Lieutenant. Last installment and Brian O'Connell on the inside. Allegard, Ruby Walsh, then First Lieutenant in third. At the final fence, last installment over a couple in front. Allegard is second, then come up towards the finish. It's last installment. Who's going to win it for Brian O'Connell, Philip Fenton?
Tá Ross láidir ag Davy First Lieutenant, ach bíonn an bua ag last installment, an capel eile a bhí fáildó. Tá an cinenne mícheart dainte ag Davy arís.
Into the back straight to face the first of the fences.
Agus na capel gardan gríoch, bhailligh siad le chéile agus plúcha capel Davy sa tlua. Tá nachtra tugad faoi deara ag na muir rásaíochta, agus tá fisrú ar bun le fáil amach an nearna an brú ar chapel Davy déon gnó.
It's like a judge and jury. If you like, you present your evidence and describe what happened, and they have all the video evidence and angles, and they'll make up their mind whether you're guilty, whether you're lying, or if you're, in my case, completely innocent. Again.
Nid tá sé mo an gúrsa, nid tá rás ar siúl, tá caimhlinn teán, tá nómha teán, ach nid tá sé hart, tá sé iontach, tá sé díreach cosú le dornálathe, tá anmheasa go bar a chéile.
Tar éis na fineise a scrúdú agus tar éis dóibh labhairt leis na marcaigh, tá breth déanta ag na muir.
There was interference turning into the back straight. Last installment was on the outside and he drifted in on top of me. I was just inside him. Davey was inside me and Barry was on the very inside. And they're running into a bend. It just got kind of tight and Davey was the meat in the sandwich and he got squashed out. It does happen and Brian O'Connell got cautioned for it to be more aware of what's around him. But look, it's a difficult enough thing for him too in front. He doesn't have wing mirrors. He can't see exactly where the horses are behind him.
It just got a bit tight and someone had to lose out, and I just got a bit squeezed, but it's just race riding. That's just the way it is. If I was sharp enough, I'd have moved out and went around Ruby before that incident happened, but I thought I had enough horse to stay there. Obviously I didn't.
Tillan marcach €169 le páirteach lacha I Rás, agus 8 faoin géad den fota óir. Tá níos mó ná €3,000,000 cáilte ag Davy, dá bhar gur tháinig sé sa dara hát.
Same again with tiddlywinks. This is a hard-line business. There's, as well as the prestige, there's a lot of money involved. And, you know, today would have been a big payday for Davy, but instead it's not. Of course he's going to be disappointed. If he wasn't disappointed, it wouldn't mean anything to him. And if it doesn't mean anything to you, you're never going to be good at it.
Second sucks. Second's no good, unfortunately. Not in this game. It's all about winners, especially at this level.
Mí Martha, agus tá sé suair na rásaíochta seilge faoi lán teol. Tá Davy Russell 3-10 chun tosaí sa rás do chréibh chamórtas na marcach. Ach tá Ruby Walsh ag tacht na sála air.
It all depends on suspension and injuries. If I get suspended or injury, I haven't a chance. If he gets a suspension or two, I have a chance. But that's what you're talking about.
The last 5 or 6 years I've been second. I broke my wrists a couple of times and I broke my ankle a couple of times, and you'll be making excuses, but at the end of the day, like, you know, for me to be champion, someone else has to be unlucky, like.
I've been champion jockey 8 times, he hasn't been, so yeah, he obviously would like to win it, but I won't be giving it to him.
Ruby's catching up there as we go along, running out of ammunition, so we'll see how we get on.
It feels to me like it might be quite an exciting finish.
I hope not. I hope it's as boring as possible.
Lucky at the back of the field. Oh, wishful thinking.
Níl éon chaidean rásaíochta sa dawn níos fearr ná náte. 20,000 duine gach lá, grád a hain go leor gan na rásaí, fiúán na handicaps tá sé dínta ar fad. Má tá sína go a rásaí, seo é náit le bheith, náit is fearr ar dawn.
Má bhún siad ceann amháin, beidh siad sásta. Má héann siad a bhhaile go héireann agus gan éon rás fúteacha chun sé sin isteach go móra. Mar nuair héann siad ag a baile dean daoine le níor éidir le trómhaith Cheltenham imlíana.
Sé Ruby Walsh an marcachas ráthúla is star Cheltenham. Sa rás mór aniu, the champion hurdle, tá sé ar chapel Willie Mullins, Hurricane Fly. Rowan na cuitín tachta agus dóchas na slúidse ag brathir.
Hurricane Fly needs to pick up a bit in third place and is now ridden by Ruby Walsh as they run round the turn, and is Rock On Ruby coming a bit wide from overturn, and they're 4 or 5 lengths clear of Hurricane Fly, who's struggling to get on terms. Rock On Ruby from overturn, up the hill, Rock On Ruby and Noel Feely.
Ach deire tá an Hurricane Fly sa tríú háits. Agus tosaíon daoine ag ceistú tá spántais an chapel, agus an bharciig.
I was watching the race. I just didn't feel Ruby was happy from, you know, after halfway. You know, I kind of sensed maybe that he just wasn't really on song. I don't think there was anything Ruby could have done, you know.
Bhuaigh Hurricane Fly ar an gapal a Críochnigh sa tarna háit imléana. Bhuaigh sé go héasca ar an nóg, agus bhí sé taobhthíorda imléana.
Whereas last year everything he did was effortless. This year everything I wanted him to do I was having to make him do. And that was the telltale sign at the top of the hill when overturn kicked and Rock On Ruby followed him. I was flat to boards trying to go after him.
It was Rock On Ruby.
Sean Torres Fargam Blian, that he and Torres Far date of Tarlo ing Cheltenham, so the much sauce leis ach ní samra duna bella.
Nor a chálan Rowan na cuitín tachta bín tuairim ag gach chearvach.
I would have to say there was a little bit of AP and Ruby just sort of watching each other, you know, and I think maybe they got a little bit out of their ground on that account, because I think the one felt that the other was the only danger and vice versa, you know, and I think possibly ignored the rest.
Beidir an uair seo go ran sé siar ró ada ach ní minic ans Ruby rudaí mícheart agus siad a daoine a cháilinn tarigid atá rán na rudaí seo. Nar a cháilinn tún tarigid fan tú lochtar chalaghine.
Do you think you've done anything wrong this week?
Tom, down into the weighing room, please.
Sure I have, but no. And when I mean I haven't done anything wrong, I didn't write anything that should have won.
Tá gairí thar bór le Barry Geraghty sa bhéile chéana, agus é ar chrim 3 bhuaiteoir grád a hain don traenálaí Nicky Henderson.
It's brilliant. It was a highlight of my season. You know, Cheltenham is the biggest meeting of the year, and to ride a treble there on the Wednesday was great, and to win the champion chase particularly was brilliant. So it was you could only dream of a week like that. You would obviously get very excited, but back into the wear and wait for the next race. You know, you can't be like a footballer after scoring a goal and run around the rest of the game smiling. You have to back into action again, so it's a little bit that way, that you're a bit controlled. It might seem as if I'm not overly thrilled, but there's a good film a couple of years ago called Inside I'm Dancing, and Inside I'm Dancing.
Tá Davy Russell a thógáil go ré tar éis an bhua inniu Surdé Seán. Leidig an brú a bhí de bhór an bhua seo.
When I got on in the parade room today, everything just went smooth. He walked out, he cantered out to the start, he looked at the fence, tightened the girth, jumped off in the right position, winged fences. It's amazing how aggressive you have to be for them 3 or 4 minutes. And really you are minding your horse and you're minding yourself. And that is the only thing in your mind. Nothing else matters whatsoever. And the minute that then 3 or 4 minutes is over, completely different person. You can't let yourself just go wild on the good times, because literally half an hour later, you'll be in the back of an ambulance.
Lá an Gold Cup. Seo é an léamrás is móla rá im líon na rásaíochta. Tar éis dhiamá an champion hurdle, tá ard Ruby Walsh in istíoirithe go thomláin an Gold Cup. Tá sé ag marceocht chapel a bhuaigh an rás seo faoi gho, Cotto Star.
An Corn Or, it's sé an rás a bhfuil daoine marcí agus tréálathe ag súil leis an bliain ar fad.
So, big question, Ted, Cotto Star, will he do it?
My heart would love to see him win, but I think reality is that...
I think 90% of the people here would like to see him do it. Have you, Jim?
I agree with everything Ted said.
Bhí sé faoi scamal feadh cúpla lá, an sin dúirt Paul Nichols go bhfuil sé taca ar náis. Ní lista gom agus ní bheith gista céine go dtí go mbeidh an Rás Hart an bhfuil Cotto Star san form céine is a bhí sé I rinn an ollamh mar hampla. Mona bhfuil má tá éon rud cearr leis ní bhuaigh sé an Gold Cup.
Cotto Star will jump, disputing second with time for Rupert on the outside.
Ruby now is shoving the call on already, which isn't a good sign. Like Ruby's flat to the board, he's going to need to wing every fence.
Cotto Star just losing his position slightly at this stage, and Ruby's not happy on him. Long Run is going much better in front of him.
No, Cotto Star is going to pull up.
Star is now towards the back of the field.
You know what's saying to Ruby now if he pulls him up. No, there you go. Pulled
up. It's very disappointing. Cotto Star is being pulled up. The racing legend is being taken out of the race by Ruby Walsh, but still the crowd are cheering. They give him a round of applause.
He just never fired, he was never going. There was no spark, no life. And the game was up very early on, and they didn't have much choice but to pull him up.
Bhí tar an Gold Cup bhí sé aontoch chuinge, aontoch mar cólacht, ach dar éide ní deas a rud a eiceil capla mar sin tarn fós.
He's a wonderful horse and it was great to have him. Finding the next one's going to be the hard part.
Tá an Aintree Grand National an rás seilge is cáúla domhan, agus le bhiliún daoine ag fechan déir fud na cruinne. Tá puta ór de bheag nach £1,000,000 sterling aige.
Is ócáid mór mílta chuin an Grand National, nuair a ecan tú nuair cáfra taríocht, tá agad cáfra an rás do chreite, tá chulagan is a tír a breanúir.
Tá simna agad a hágan mudí Harcín suas chuig 20 milliún like bíon ceala gachtainna. Tá sé is rásínta ché.
Yeah, I've been lucky in entry. I've won 2 nationals, and they were great days. Papillon was an amazing day. It was just one of those things, and everything that's going to happen that did. It was different with Hedge Hunter in 2005. We fancied him. We thought he had a great chance. Coming on Papillon, I was coming here in hope. But they were 2 brilliant days, and I'd love Andy's Owen to give me another day like it. You like to win the Gold Cup because it's the highest level race. It's the actual best horse, or so you think. Whereas the Grand National is a handicap and there's a bit more luck involved. But from the outside looking in, this is the race.
Agus na slúiteag tachtasteach sa rás cuasa, tain Davy Russell an gúrsa le brathnú chlai clúite Aintree, the chair.
The base of the fence is probably down here. So all this here is spruce, like. It's just spruce laid on spruce. Literally, you could take that apart with your hands. I actually got a fall here. I fell at the chair of a horse called the cage. You got a horrible fall. Got a horrible fall at Beach, got knocked unconscious and stitches. And
is that where that comes from?
Yeah. Just got a bang in the face. I'd say every chap that's going out there today now is one thing in their mind is to get around. Like the lads, you'll be inside and ask you how'd you get on, like, you know, and I got around.
Horses fall and get up jockeys, you're unseated, and a lot of horses will pull up. You need a bit of luck to get around, but that's all part of the challenge.
Ach búlan mí á Ruby Walsh fiú sulla dusnín an Grand National. De bhór ruch hitim san Aintree hurdle, ní bheith sé an pártach lachas sa rás mór.
Heavy fall at the rear of the field. Horse up on his feet, okay. Ruby Walsh sitting up, but it was a heavy fall.
It was a heavy fall in the hurdle race and just didn't get over in time.
You look kind of shook up. How you feel?
It was a heavy fall. A bit shook, but that's what happens. It's jump racing.
I'd be disappointed he missed the ride, like, you know, like, but he got a nasty fall now and he had a few scrapes and things on his neck and things from the helmet, but he'll be okay, he's tough.
Digging deep on the near side.
Tá críoch an rása níos congrí ná mar a bhíle blianta. Tá bua éigean ag Darryl Jacob Neptune Collange. Tá an Barry Geraghty sa Neo Hearts agus titan Davy Russell ag an Seachtú Clyde.
I was unlucky now, my lad just slipped at the back of the first a little bit and it took him a while then, and I was just getting back into a nice rhythm and there was got a little bit intimidated at I don't know, it was the one after Beaches anyway, and just tipped up. Joys of motoring now, really.
Nóair a hitan siad an gapal agus iad a dal beidir ar trug a seach trug a hoc mílas an óir agus orint an talamh go crúig, búlinn siad an talamh agus scúine a chapel a teachtain a dró. Tá bail agus tá contúirte ach glachan siad leis.
From the time that they hit the ground until you get the word, that's the very difficult time. They say Ruby Walsh is on his feet. That they are the magical words. Ruby Walsh is on his feet.
Covered Ruby Walsh up on his feet, okay, so too is Corto Stone.
I mean, at times I am a nervous wreck. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. And I also thought when I was younger, I'll get used to this, but you don't get used to it.
The worst day would probably be a day in Galway. His nose was kind of at the other side of it was nearly over here, but there was blood everywhere, and yeah, it was a bit of a fright that day.
I would say going to see him in hospital in Cheltenham when he lost his spleen. I'd say he was just out of surgery, and I just felt that he was devastated. That was tough.
Yeah, I think their attitude rubs off on you, really. You know, it's get up and get on with it again the next day, and you don't dwell on the injuries, you know, for too long. So it's just part of the job.
Be positive. That's what I have to try and, just be positive and think that he's never going to have an injury again. You know, I know that's not going to happen, but that's the way I just have to look at it.
Fine marquee boss agus connect mar le Kieran Kelly agus Jack Tyner agus tá sé inta bronnach nar a Harlíonn sé.
Na dtíine gúil post agus cluineál có nó héin siad amach ná riar le ní bhíon agus ag an bag céalan ag an fearraigh teachtar leis. So sport an na contúr do chu freisin.
The darkest hour for me was when Kieran Kelly got killed in Kilbega. Plain and simple. But you just think that in everyone's career, in the laws of averages, one jockey probably gets killed, and sadly that was Kieran Kelly, and I guess I probably thought, well, it won't be me. Bit selfish, isn't it?
Bí nóthar cár lán de thuchtúirí ag leanúint na marcach ag gach rás.
An chud is mór daoine bheogaíach, tá siad fear láidir. Current siad féin trí a lán bhrú agus má bíonn siad gurta is féidir tá an pein gur féidir thógáil tá sé dochrete. No, is é an tita mí an chud is mór an domáiste, you know, fiú má hitan a lán daoine ag clí a bhain. Then the couple like is anna bheith maithí mar derm. Agus enna siad dúirt gan dulairt agus mar sin, you know, is anna effective go mín and then it's race school all on couple of things on tita me and the master. Yeah, current say never clutching to her and radio can mean fall around like goosey into type of cigar, being too rail dull, being like really quick enough. Being contract to get.
Is cóthulga iad 15 fan géad in na gortathe. Má hárlíonn sé seo bíonn bharcach stoppad an bharceacht fa 3 cheachtaine a laid. Tá an cuaram an bríomhruchtúir ifigiúil, Adrian McGoldrick, an druch scéile hort.
The one thing I'll say about them, they're absolute professionals, there's no query. If I stand them down, they accept it. They know why you're doing it. You're doing it for their own benefit. Quite obviously with fractures, different ball game. Quite obviously, if you fractured a rib, we'd take 6 or 8 weeks out. These lads are back usually in 10 days, 3 weeks. It's mind over matter. I mean, it's in the blood, adrenaline drive. They get a buzz out of it. Certainly, if you look at people like Ruby, AP McCoy, Barry Geraghty, I mean, their pain threshold is probably unique. On Monday, or on Tuesday, I should say, as you saw, Barry Geraghty had a very bad fall at the last fence.
Head first into the ground and broke my nose. I got a kick in the back of the head, which I didn't know I got off a horse, and it smashed my helmet. So the helmet took the impact. It was actually a brand new helmet. It was his first time out. So it had a short life.
He broke his nose, but the horse coming behind actually stood on his head. You can see the helmet was actually totally pushed in. The horse coming behind him actually stood on his head. And you can see it just pushed the helmet right in. You can actually push it right in there.
You just forget about physical pain. You get over physical pain. It goes away. Painkillers and a couple of nights sleep, and you forget about physical pain. Mental pain is worse. Watching horses winning that you could be riding and watching the world go by.
You know, I can remember when he broke his leg, you know, he never mentioned the physical pain. He was given out in the ambulance about what he was going to miss. He was listing out all the horses he was going to miss riding and the races he was going to miss riding. And, you know, there was no mention of his leg, which was, you know, broken badly.
Tá an féile baile foinse ag deire an téasú rásaíochta, agus tá nóíocht an chréibh beag nach ceart.
It's genuinely not me against Ruby, like it's or me against Paul or Barry. Like it's not a team sport. Like it's me against myself. Like it's just I can only concentrate on my own riding. Like and the horses I have to ride rather than what other people are doing. You know.
Níl gortú bit Davy Russell, tá 552 rás déanta aige agus an bua aige I 100 agus a 2 díobh siúd.
As feelings go, I feel satisfied. Like you know, I put in a lot of work this season, like alone, and today is the day.
Second place, Baxter Mountain, who's putting in a challenge, working his side. Compass well with the corner. Lucky William on the far side, Benny.
Srihan Barry Geraghty deran na bliana le héach deile. Bua sa Ryanair Novice Chase Lucky William. Críochníonn sé an séisiúr le 56 búitóir.
Hurricane Fly is back in winning ways after a disappointing run at Cheltenham. Hurricane Fly and Ruby Walsh will score.
Troiríonn Ruby Walsh Hurricane Fly leis an mua a bhaint amach sa Champion Hurdle agus 5 bhúitóir is 8 aige ina umláin.
Davy Russell have just taken the advantage on the near side is Connor Squadron and up towards the finish. It's a champion ride by the new champion jockey.
Irene le Davy Russell lán na láimh a bhaint amach agus an bua aige sa Champion Novice Hurdle le the Digout. Seo hé bua iwwer a 100 is a 4 im líana, rud a chiallaíonn gur bé Davy Russell champion na marcach don 100 riamh. Tá míon na chrí ó bhí sé ina fáiste bainte amach aige.
He would never talk about it, but it definitely was his goal always to be champion.
It probably means more to Davy to be champion jockey than it has to anyone in the last 20 years, because you know it's been a while coming for him. So it was great for him. He deserved it, you know, and I think most of us were delighted for him.
He worked hard all year. He rode more winners than the rest of us. He's a brilliant jockey, and congratulations to him.
Caithú é sinna dhéanamh nuair a bhíonn tú ag gcuine na marcaigh eile mar tá marcaigh úntach an sochanéiring agus céalach Ruby agus nuair a bhíonn Ruby sa daráid bhíonn an buil ann ag gánaí go jockey Ruby agus go múthach sé mar a rinne sé leis na blianta.
There was times even when I was an amateur I was saying, Jesus, like, is this ever going to happen? Like, am I wasting my time? Am I better off, I don't know, getting a job, like, you know? And you turn around a week later, you ride a winner and everything is rosy.
I think you must have some extra to be a champion, and he has it, and we're very proud of him.
It's amazing in Ireland. I don't think we're so close to it. I don't think we realise how good the lads are here. We're dealing with the greatest riders in the world. These are the greatest national hunt jockeys in the whole world, and I think to be champion of all them is a massive thing. This is professional sport. It's not about taking part. You take part as an amateur. It's professional. It's about winning. Simple as that.
You won't get to the heights unless it's probably the most important thing to you.
Since I've won the championship, things just seem to be a little bit easier, like, you know, I just seem to be happier with myself, and I don't know, until the next thing comes along that I haven't done, there may be another weight on my shoulders, but at the moment my shoulders are fairly free.
I never thought I'd ride as many winners as I've ridden or as many big winners as I've ridden, so I don't have any unfulfilled ambitions, but I still have a love and a longing to win more.